Welcome to the Chris and Sam podcast. Pull up a bar stool and join us for a random conversation, guaranteed to make you think or your money back.
Hey guys, welcome along to the Chris and Sam podcast. My name is Sam.
And I'm Chris.
And
I mean, it's like hardly a surprise, right? It's the Chris and Sam podcast.
I know, it'd be a bit of a surprise if my name's Jim and you're Steve.
Yeah,
That'd be a bit weird. But we've been replaced, but we haven't really. This is our podcast about randomness, technology, and life. That's the catchphrase. Chris is looking at me weird because we
I'm
don't...
like, replaced? What are you talking about now? Oh, okay. No,
we haven't
I'm with
been
you.
replaced by other people.
We haven't been replaced. No body snatchers here.
But basically, this is the catch-up of what we've been up to for the last week.
Yeah.
We normally catch up with each other. And we just thought we'd record it for you.
Yeah, effectively, that's all this podcast is. An excuse for a couple of guys to catch up regularly.
It's great, though.
It's awesome. I have had a big weekend. I got back late last night, and, well, not that late, but knackered. Had a pretty much straight to... Oh, no, actually, I watched a dumb movie on TV, and then went to bed, and and I'm still sort of waking up, and it's past midday.
Yeah.
It's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon, actually.
It is. It's almost 3 o'clock, and you're just waking up now.
I'm not waking up, but you know what I mean. I'm coming alive. So we had the 16th annual 24-hour movie marathon this weekend.
Which is held in Auckland.
Yep.
We did talk about it briefly last week, I think.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it. So it was good. So this is the second time I've been. And I don't know. I think there were better movies last year.
Oh, right.
There were more newer movies.
Now, the main thing here is Chris isn't allowed to talk about the movies.
Yes, I am totally embargoed. Not just me, but everybody is embargoed about talking about the movies. If you tweet out or use social media in any form and say the names of any of the movies, you're banned for life from this event.
Pretty
from this point forward. So, I mean, last year there were some more current movies, brand new movies type things, which is really cool. This year there was one that was a 2015 movie, but I would say you'll never see it in any cinema ever. It was weird as hell.
Sounds amazing.
It was less than amazing. I mean, the characterizations, the characters in it were good, and the filming was really good, but there was effectively no story. It was just that slice of life, and you're going, what's going to happen? And it kept hinting at menace that these kids are going to kill each other or something, but nothing like that happened. And then one of them gave birth at the end. But you didn't know she was pregnant, so it was like...
Sounds amazing. So as a whole, talking generally and not talking about the movies, because we're not allowed to, or you're not allowed to, how was the event? So
there was way more flesh than ever before. I'm gonna tell you
in the films or in the movie theater.
In the films, there was a lot more girls than I remember last year.
And you would have
more girls.
Chris would have remembered that last year.
Yeah, I would have remembered, and I did talk to a couple of times. So that was all exciting for me. And there was a lot more nakedness in this one, and there was I got to be able to tell this. I mean, surely there was
I don't know. You can tell me
documentary on transgenderism from 1978, which was bizarre to the extreme, but it also showed surgery.
Yep, sounds interesting.
It looked painful. It was gross. Sash managed to sleep through that, but that was cool. So yeah, Troy was with me. He was sitting next to me. All up until he left. Couldn't handle the last two movies. He went, nah,
which Troy?
I'm out. Troy from
Spark.
From Spark, yeah.
Oh, cool. I didn't know.
Yeah. So
seen him in ages.
So it was cool. Yeah, I hadn't seen him in literally years. So that was really good. We were riffing off there, taking the piss out of some movies. So yeah, no, it was really cool. So it was good fun. There was a lot of really cool people there. I do have to say at 4 in the morning, I was just like, why? Why did I put myself through this? Why did I do it?
Yeah.
Like people go, it's not a marathon. You're just sitting in a chair watching movies.
No,
dude, that is hard.
It was hard doing the one at Adam's place that time, and that was just overnight.
It was 12 hours.
If that.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, this was.
I wouldn't have coped. I would have lost the plot and yelled at a lot of people.
I tell you, there was some. But there was one really good movie I really enjoyed. Good old Kurt Russell Western thing. So I can't say the name, obviously. But yeah, no, there was some good stuff there. And
awesome.
Good catching up with people. So yeah, so that set me up perfectly for my conference the next day.
Of course it did. Chris has to go to a conference the next day, and what's better than going to a conference fresh as from a 24-hour movie marathon?
Yeah. So no, I mean, I got home, crashed out. Well, not home. At my friend's place. Crashed out at her place. She woke me up at 7. I made her wake me up at 7 so I could go out for dinner, so I don't sleep and then wake up at 4 in the morning or something stupid. So it was cool. But I did wake up at 5 or 6 in the morning, and I left before she got up. I was like gone. But yeah, no, the conference was good. It was the IT shop, so it's middle management IT people.
So it was called the IT shop conference.
Yeah, that's the name of the conference, IT shop.
Is IT shop a company?
Nope.
Okay. That's where I got confused reading your tweets, because I couldn't work out what IT shop was, because I couldn't work out if it was a business that was running the event or a major sponsor or...
No, it's the name of the conference.
Okay, and there's IT professionals from all sorts of places.
Yes. So I met Mike, who's the IT manager for Antarctica, New Zealand. So he sends people down to Scott Base and sorts out all their IT problems.
You imagine getting a phone call from Scott Base and going, "Oh, have you got this plug?" And he's like, no. You got to wait 6 months.
Exactly. And one of the guys, we were talking just in a group afterwards, and one of the guys goes, "Oh, man, you don't have any problems with coolers." He goes, "It's funny you should say that, because they've just installed some stuff, and because the huts are so insulated, they're overheating, and they've got engineers trying to work out how to cool it down, like get some fresh air from outside, but the fresh air outside ranges from 2 degrees to minus 52 degrees, and you can't have too much of that."
No, apparently not.
Like, oh, well, that's a whole other problem, So yeah, so we had him. We had one of the speakers that I hope to connect with on LinkedIn now. It was Mark Kendrick. I think it was Kendrick.
Sounds
He's
good.
the IT manager for Salvation Army.
Oh, nice. Yep.
Yes, because I was going to have a chat to him. I never managed to catch him in the breaks, and he wasn't there for day 2. But I was going to say, you should get on the op shop directory and work out a way of, getting those messages back and forth and talk to your clients directly through that. So anyway, so there's him, and who else do we have that I met? There was some cool people from the Tertiary Education Commission, and the IT manager that manages all the IT for the MPs.
Oh,
There's
wow.
120 MPs.
Yeah.
And I had a good chat to him. Robin is his name. And it's like, I suppose there's a few things. Because you can't, if you've got a job, in a company, you can mandate, you guys have to do the security training.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't tell the MPs to do anything.
Wow.
You can tell them, we recommend that you do this. And he goes, yeah, and we got to get them to sign everything so that they take all the risk. Because, there's a lot of cover your ass sort of type
Is
stuff.
it fair to say you were probably the odd one out at this conference?
Oh, absolutely.
But it sounds good. Sounds
Oh,
like
it was fun. It was fun, and I met a bunch of people. Had dinner. We went to Sal's Pizza. Had something to eat with some of them, and then this was after day 1 on the way home, which happened to be my birthday. So I'm alone.
I was just going to get to that.
I'm alone in Auckland on my birthday. Don't feel sorry for me.
He's
at all.
almost 50,
and and I went sod it, and I walked into the comedy club. It was their amateur night, so I paid $5 for that.
How'd that go?
The laugh of Chris was in full noise, I got to say. I think I was freaking out because they take you out and say, "Oh, how many is this one?" And they put you at a table with people. There's tables everywhere. People around them. So I'm at a table with just all girls. I think it was 4 girls there.
Yep, good start to the story.
And I never looked at, hardly. I very rarely looked at them.
Peripheral vision.
But I laughed a bit, and when I did look at them, they were just staring at me. So I was like,
it'd be like deer in
weird.
the headlights, because you're just not. Well, we're all used to it, and you too can be used to it very soon with the laughofchris.com. I actually started working on that the other day, but but going in cold, you just be like, what? It's like Kim. Like if you don't know Kim, and you hear her, if she laughs full on first time,
I've heard her silence bars.
Yeah, she silenced. What's the one next to Keystone? The flame one.
Yeah, Furnace.
Furnace, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she silenced that whole restaurant, and it was real busy and loud, and then it just went boop. nothing.
Well, she silenced it when we went there, but that was partly because she laughed and then she threw a drink over me.
Yeah.
But it was a date, so that doesn't count, I guess. Anyway, so that never went anywhere, in case you were wondering. Anyway, so that was pretty cool. And then I spoke on day 2 and I did a presentation on the power of story, because one of the big things that was fairly obvious through some of the other speakers was the IT people, and you probably are aware of this in your own experience. IT people can be pretty bad at communicating.
Well, the thing is, these people do have a lot of information, really clever information, statistics, and all sorts of stuff, but they don't know how to frame it. Yeah,
and they tend to put it across often in a way that it's condescending. And one of the things I was talking about is, like, what you want to do is not be talking down to people. You want to make you and your audience the same level and use a story as like a straw man, if you know how that works. And so you're picking on the straw man, you're picking on the story, so you can attack the story, you can attack the characters in the story and go, that guy was an idiot. Whereas without the story, you're going, you're an idiot. No, you don't want to do that. You want to go, oh, this guy once, he did this, this, and this, and he was such an idiot because he did that, and you're okay with it.
Yes,
you know?
that's a good explanation.
Yeah, I wish I'd used that in my talk. That would be good.
Yeah.
No, I did. That was pretty cool. So my talk, I got a little more nervous than I expected. And it's funny because I was not nervous at all at MC at the social media club, and there were hundreds of people.
Yeah,
I was more nervous because these guys were highly technical, and they were...
It's because you were the small fish in the big pond.
Yeah.
And in the other one, you're the medium-sized fish in a medium-sized pond.
Well, I think there's 8 or 10 people in the room. I was in the small room because they'd split off into 2 rooms. Day 1 was all in 1 room, day 2 in 2 rooms. But Valentina said, no, don't worry, because when you do the content marketing summit next year, there's only 1 stream and you'll be in the big room with everybody. So
yeah.
That'd be cool.
That's the one you really need to work on.
Oh, I know. I really, really need to start working on it now. And if anybody else needs to work on that, I can help them with that. But I'd also recommend you buy the book, Steal the Show by Michael Port, which has only just come out in the last month or so. I wish it had come out 6 months ago, because then I would have used it to get ready for the last speech. But yeah, I'll be using it to get ready for the next one. And I was going to do a review for Michael. He asked me to. So I was going to do a review for him today, but I hadn't got to it yet.
That's right.
Because I was writing a radio commercial, a commercial for a radio station in the States.
As you do.
In Maine. Feel the rock with WZLO.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you could be semi-world famous and no one would ever know.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if they actually use my commercial now.
Do you think it'll be sustainable?
Sustainable?
Sustainable.
What's that mean?
Who knows? I was. This is the
about?
segue into the next part of our podcast, Chris.
Okay.
So I was listening. I'm not going to mention any names here, but I was listening to someone that has just created a podcast that is in the marketing sphere.
Right.
They also run some courses online. Chris is probably just clicking to who I'm talking about now.
Yeah, I think
so. I was listening to this podcast, and they kept busting out the word sustainable.
Oh.
And it was, sustainable is the word you use all the time. I'm not an expert in talking by any means, because I do say anything, but I'm getting better at doing anything now. But sustainable came up quite a bit, as well as ums, ahs, and all the stuff that you do that I edit out.
Yeah, I was just going to say, but I do that. But I have an editor.
It was really bad. And it was only 8 minutes long, and it did my head in, actually. It was really hard to listen to.
So they said sustainable meaning sustainable.
Yes.
Right.
But they said it about 7 times.
Oh, no.
And it was very pronounced.
That
so
would do
it was
my head
sustainable.
Sustainable.
So, yeah.
No, that's horrible.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we won't go on about that, but I do want to do some Udemy courses now, because I was told a couple of things about my talk in the weekend yesterday. They sort of said, there's some definite markets for doing some of this stuff, so I'm going to look at doing some.
Have you signed up in Udemy? Have you clicked on the create your course thing?
I started creating a course on something. I
clicked on it the other day, and I was quite impressed with the amount of resources they have.
Oh yeah, no, it's really good. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
And I said I'd help Carl at some point with his, but I don't know. I'm quite busy. I'm quite in demand as an actor right now. So I've just been asked to do something tomorrow. Which, like, when I say just, we were sitting down to this podcast, and I got a text, and I'm like, I was going to be drinking tonight. I might still drink tonight, but not so much.
Yeah, not so much.
I've got to get up to Auckland like early tomorrow, I think. But yeah, so I've got some work to do tomorrow, and then I've got 2 jobs on the first. Obviously, one of them I'm not going to do, but one of them is a 2-day job. So hopefully, I get the 2-day job and do the first and the second. That'll be cool. And then and then I've got stuff this weekend, and I've got stuff a little bit later on too.
Do you know who's not in demand?
Who's not in
Me.
demand? You're not?
I got a bit upset on the weekend. 95% of it's in my head, but the Twitterati from Hamilton, all of Hamilton's #1 Twitter people, all got together at Hamilton Lake. They're all part of Hamilton Mafia as well, and they got a very nice group photo with everyone that's important in Hamilton that uses Twitter.
Oh, burn. Like, I mean, I absolutely don't expect to be anywhere near that, like, at all. Like, I've got nothing to do with it. But you.
Well,
having you not in that.
Apparently,
Twitter thing?
Well, I wasn't on Twitter. I haven't been using Twitter much. So, like I said, 95% of it's in my head. So I'm over it now. I just don't care. I don't really care about Twitter either at the moment. Yeah, so Adam was in the photo, Fid was in the photo, Jeremy Tripp was in the photo, and a whole bunch of other people were in the photo. But there's about 30 or 40 of them, and most of them I've never seen before in my life. Yeah, and these are the top people.
Well, we might have to resurrect the old social media club,
yes.
And then we can lord it over them.
That's right.
No, I don't mean it like that, but it would be a good thing to kick back into action. I'd let it go a bit because I had other things. I got made redundant. I was like, transitioning in my life. I wasn't coming out, just saying. I was transitioning in my life. I didn't know what I was doing, so I just didn't want to put the energy into
it's
that.
A bit
but
weird.
Now I have no clue what I'm doing. I feel much more comfortable with that, and I should do some more stuff like that.
Well, the Twitter thing's weird because I'm at about 13,000 tweets that I've done.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was probably when I was doing the Secret Santa stuff.
Yeah.
And the top tweeters in New Zealand were around the 60 or 70,000 mark.
Right.
I've only gone up like 1,000 in the last year or something, and I'm looking at some of these other people, and they're in the 170,000 tweets now.
The big guys.
150, 170. And at this point in my life, I'm just like, what a waste of freaking time.
Oh, wow. And I mean, like, you've got an office job where you could pretty much tweet a lot.
I
could do, like,
but
you know what I'm saying? Like, you've got a position where you could sit there and do a lot of tweeting because you don't have to be switched on all the time.
No, that's right. The focus now is working on other projects and sorting things out. But you know what? A trip to Morrinsville might make me feel better because they want to build a giant cow now. Did you know that?
That is the worst segue ever.
It's awesome.
Moo.
Yeah, they want to build an iconic sculpture like every other giant thing we have in New Zealand.
Yeah, so Awakuni's got the carrot. They want the cow.
Yes, but the biggest problem is they had a story announcing it, then there was a follow-up, and they were sort of saying, yeah, we do want it, but it has to be as big or bigger than the Awakuni carrot, because if we do it too small, then it's not iconic. It's just big cow. So it'll be interesting to see how big this thing goes.
I think they should have it across the main street, and you've got to drive under it to get into Morrinsville. That would be cool.
That'd be pretty epic.
Yeah.
Until someone climbs it and falls off onto their head.
No, you just make it a slippery cow.
Oh, slippery cow, yeah.
Yeah.
But
you can't have the udders coming down too low, or you might hit some of the traffic.
Have them as rubber. What's that?
Or you drive under it and it squirts down, washes the car as you go under. Okay, all right.
But per capita, we must have the most giant
random things
compared to some other countries.
I
mean, America must be winning. I assume they're winning in that state.
Yeah,
they have to be.
Well, I mean, yeah. Even per capita, they probably. I think there's quite a lot in Australia.
Yes, there is true,
If
actually.
you are actually there, you'd hear about it. They don't tell you overseas that they've got it, but the ones there know that there's the giant pineapple at whatever it is, and the
giant prawn.
Yeah.
What have they got?
Is there a giant prawn?
I think so.
That's awesome.
If anyone's got it, they do.
Yeah. That's true. So anyway,
I was going to just switch back for a sec. Obviously, it was your birthday this week.
Oh yeah.
How'd that go? You feeling old? Or not really?
Not really.
You turned the big 48.
Yeah, 48. So next year's 49 and then the 50. So I'm going to have to start planning for my 50th.
Someone asked me, I think Tash thought you were 50. She said, it's his 50th.
Yeah, no, Tash, it's not yet. Thanks. Anyway.
No, she just thinks you're old.
I am, dude, I am. So I'm going to have to start planning for 50th because I always wanted to say, right, on my 50th, I want to be able to do backflips and what do you call those feet to hands?
Yeah.
Those.
Yeah. How far away? How far away are you from completing those?
Oh, I haven't started yet, but now that I've only got 2 years to learn, I'm like, okay, I've got to do that, full splits, bunch of press ups. I want to be able to do more than any 25-year-old that comes along to my 50th birthday.
So what I'm hearing is you're going to be just inviting big, fat, unfit 25-year-olds.
No, actually, most 25-year-olds are shit that I know. So that's
you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Well, I mean,
actually,
can Tash do backflips? No.
Oh, who knows? Who knows? I don't want to know. Actually, talking about splits, I split my pants at the gym the other day. My shorts.
Awesome.
I went along and I thought I was going to CX Works.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. I haven't done that class before. And I went into the wrong studio, and next thing you know, the guy's yelling at me, and we're doing body pump for an hour. So I did body pump, and it wasn't until right near the end I split the inside groin at the front of my pants, not at the back.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know how long it was like that for. I think it was like that for a while. So, yeah.
But you had undies on.
Yeah, I wasn't like free balling it.
Because that would be a problem.
Yeah, no, that'd be a bit. I'd find that weird. Actually.
I am going to tell you the story.
Yes.
This is from
last week.
A long time ago. Like I would have been 18. You know how naive I am now. Times that by 20.
I've heard a few stories, so I can just imagine.
I was the most naive teenager that. You just have no idea. Anyway, I was fitness fanatic, doing karate. I even had a few girls that chased me around, followed me around, fan club if you like, but I just wouldn't have anything to do with them. Didn't do anything with girls.
Is that just because you were so focused on the training, or you were so naive, or a combination?
Combination, basically.
Because you did tell the story the other day about that chick said, "Take your pants off," and you're like, "No."
Oh yeah. We were in bed together at the time, so Duh. Anyway, I was an idiot. I look back and go, all those wasted years. Anyway, so this particular time, the karate club, we trained hard. It was all real macho and all that sort of thing. And I think it was the instructor's wife started going to Les Mills and doing some of these classes.
Yeah.
And in Wellington. And so he said, we've got to go along and do one of their super fitness sessions on a Saturday. And we're like, whatever, with a bunch of girls, whatever, rah.
Yeah.
This bleeding instructor, this chick, is doing these one-arm press-ups, like boom, 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 boom. And we were struggling to keep up.
But was everyone else sort of keeping up?
Pretty much. They were all real fit. And it was a real eye-opener for us because we thought we'd just go in and cruise it and just kill it. Because we were really fit at the time. But it's just different exercises and stuff.
Yeah.
But at one point, I heard James, we were sort of near the back of the class, as you do when you don't know what's going on. And I heard James sort of waved next to me too, because there's three of us in a row. I forget who the other guy was. And he waves, I think it was Peter. And he waves to Peter Drill, and Peter, and they point ahead, and they're looking up, and I'm like, what's going on? And I look forward, and there's a woman, so we're on our hands and knees.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing. Some sort of exercise, like stretching your back or something, on hands and knees. And I look forward, and there's this girl in front of us, and her T-shirt's untucked, and she's not wearing a bra, basically. Right?
Oh,
and I go,
the old underboob.
And I do the whole, and she looks down, looks down, sees me, drops, and gives me the dirtiest look ever. And I was just like, I didn't even see anything. It wasn't me.
Who doesn't wear a bra when they're doing that sort of thing? Someone that wants to be seen, I think.
Yeah, well, you know.
Bit of exhibitionism.
Well, yeah, no. She just expected me not to be looking up her T-shirt.
Yeah, I mean that.
Anyway, so yeah, no. Anyway,
she didn't feel the disturbance on the force then. beforehand.
No, there was no Chris eyes back then. I tell you.
No,
I don't think so.
When did Chris eyes start forming? We don't know.
I honestly don't know.
Probably after you're married, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Once you're divorced. That's when...
no. Actually, it might have been when I went overseas.
Oh, so it's like a bad habit you've picked up from overseas.
Oh yeah. That's probably it.
Listen to him. Yeah. It's when it happened.
I think it has a lot to do with Irish girls.
Oh, really? Irish girls?
Yeah, I have a thing for Irish girls. So. Anyway, moving on. Let's change the subject.
Okay, your pick.
I have nothing.
I've covered the big cow getting upset at Twitter and whatever my other thing was. Oh, sustainable. Because I'm always about being sustainable.
Oh God. No, well, I got my car on the road, so I picked my car up today. So I bought a car because I had a company car when I had a job. I don't have a job, so I needed a car to get to these.
All his acting gigs.
All these acting gigs that are paying me not enough to pay for the petrol, let alone the car.
That's only because you're in Hamilton, though.
Yeah, I know. So I went to. I bought this car. It needed a new radiator. I organised a new radiator between gigs that I had to go up to Auckland for. And that cost a few $100, $500, I think, $400, $500. And then I'm like, great, because I've got to take it to Auckland tomorrow. He goes, oh, no. I haven't told this story on the podcast yet, have I?
I think you have.
All right. Oh, no, you got to have the water pump's got to be done as well. I was like,
Yeah.
So anyway, I've picked it up for another $640.
What were you driving around as their loan car?
The loan car was a really dodgy, old, crappy-looking Nissan Primera.
Yep.
White, oily, messy, It went like the clappers, and I was praying. I'm praying now that I haven't gone racing past a speed camera.
You never know,
the last 2 days.
Yeah.
I'm serious because it's weird because you'd be driving, you go, oh, it's 80, and you pick it up a little bit, and I just wouldn't watch the road because I'm so used to now having a decent car with cruise control.
Cruise control, yeah.
And so I'll be just watching the road, just driving. Then I look down, I'm doing 120 again. Crap! And then I take my foot off the accelerator. It was automatic.
Oh yeah.
And then the next time I'm doing like 90, I'm like, oh, that's a bit slow, and I press it up a bit. And I don't know, I could not get that balance right so that it's just doing 100 to 105.
Yeah, it's a bit different when you drive someone else's different car. But you've got your car back now.
Yeah, I picked my car up this morning, so I haven't driven it anywhere yet, really, other than back from the shop. But I will get some petrol in it today so that I can drive it to a gig in Auckland tomorrow.
Yeah. The background acting thing seems to have a lot of jobs coming up, eh?
Yeah. Well, it's the season, for one thing. It's sunny and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
of course. That makes a big difference. And if they want to hire me for Christmas, because I'm not going to do anything Christmas, Christmas Day and shit, that'd be awesome.
I doubt anyone's going to film something Christmas Day.
Really?
Man. No, because it would cost them megabucks to pay the actors and stuff. The other people, the more important people.
Yeah, true.
And the crew. The crew, actually.
Oh, anyway. No.
You just have to film yourself doing something. That sounds weird. I think that's about time to wrap this up, actually.
So, no, were you serious that you were working on the laughofchris.com?
Yeah, I made sure the domain was pointing to the hosting and I set the site up, but I haven't done anything else yet.
Oh, my God.
Don't worry, folks, it's coming.
I was talking to somebody about the cushions the other day, about that being great for a specific present for somebody. I can't remember what it was now.
Oh, the Laughing Chris cushions.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you would have got onto that topic.
There was.
If I wasn't there to talk about the website.
No, I was talking to Carolyn about something and, brought it up. It was hilarious. Anyway, okay, so that's all of us today. Hopefully we didn't bore you absolutely crapless.
No, of course not. What you want to do is look at all the other 50-plus back episodes, which you can find on the chrisandssampodcast.com.
Yep, because we have done this for over a year now.
Find us on... Actually, there's a lot of people working their way through, it looks like, all the back episodes, so that's cool.
Yep.
So when you reach this one, hello, thanks for listening. Make sure to rate us on iTunes. That'd be cool.
Yeah, if you've got iTunes. So I don't have iTunes, so everybody goes, can you rate me on iTunes? And I'm like, no. But if you've got iTunes,
if you've got iTunes,
if you've got an iPhone or anything like that, you can just go in there, give us some stars, and say, these guys are awesome or whatever.
Yep. Send us a message on Twitter, which is Chris and Sam Pod.
Yep. Or go to thechrisandsampodcast.com and see all the show notes, photos, and whatnot. Did we put photos on that we said we were going to put on last week?
We put the video on of your presentation.
Oh, good.
I don't think there was any photos.
Yep.
And if there was... No, there was no photos for that one. Usually,
should we put the photo of my speaking photo and all the photoshopped versions of my speaking photo on there?
Yes, that's what I was thinking of doing. Actually, I forgot to do that. I was going to put them all on Twitter.
So
tweet them out.
somebody, the photographer, the professional photographer, they didn't have one at the conference, unfortunately, but the professional photographer at Smackle got a nice photo of me as MC talking to the audience and what have you, and it looks good. And I made it my profile picture on Facebook. And then my quote-unquote friends
they
and
were,
family...
they were right into the photoshopping straight
away. Started with Roy with the giant slug, and then my uncle with this very clever card thing.
Yeah, that was cool.
And even my young nephew with the gangster version.
I started working on one, and then I got distracted and worked on something else. At the moment, you're just there with a massive gold chain around your neck.
All right, well, we'll get those images on there. But thanks again for listening. You can find us on Facebook as well. We didn't mention that. Just search for the Chris and Sam Podcast.
Until next time, I'm Sam.
And I'm Chris. Bye.
See ya.
Hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll catch you next week. Don't forget to tell your friend.